So we've learned how to convert fractions to decimals, fractions to percent, decimals to percent, decimals to fractions, percents to fractions, and percents to decimals. And I know some of it was really easy and some of it was really hard. And I know some of you are saying, is there an easier way to do this? Well, I'm here today to tell you there actually is an easier way to convert some fractions to decimals, and we're going to talk about that. So I'm here to give you a couple of tips and ways you can identify those fractions that can be easily made into decimals with this simple bit of knowledge. First, we need to look at the factors of 100. Why the factors of 100? I'm glad you asked. We look at the factors of 100 because percent is out of 100. So when we are going from a fraction to a percent, we're talking about something out of 100. And if we know what it is out of 100, then we can also write it as a decimal. We can also change some fractions to out of 10 or make them over 10, and that will be shown as well. So factors of 100, 1 and 100, 2 and 50, 4 and 25, 5 and 20, 10 and 10. Well, I've underlined the ones that we're going to be looking at. Anytime you see a fraction that has a denominator of 2, 50, 4, 25, 5, or 20, we can easily convert that to a fraction over 100, and then we can use our place value to make that into a decimal, and then from there we can make it into a percent. So this is 6 denominators that we can make into something over 100. So that's going to make at least 6 different types of fractions so much easier for us. So I have here that we want to try this out with. Let's keep our factors handy. So let's start with 420, or 4 out of 20. 20 is a factor of 100. 20 times 5 will give me 100. So I'm going to convert this to a new fraction over 100. How would I get that? By multiplying 20 times 5. Just like before, anything I do to the bottom, I want to do the same to the top. 4 times 5 is 20. So then this gives me 20 hundredths, a new equivalent fraction. 4 20ths is the same as 20 hundredths. If I wanted to take this and make it a decimal, I would write it as 20 hundredths, zeros in the hundreds place. And from here, I can make that decimal into a percent. So I didn't have to do TIBO or anything. Remember, this only works with factors of 100 or factors of 10, mostly 2 and 5. So this doesn't work with every denominator. So I don't want to see you guys trying to multiply 3 times something to get 100. You'll be there all day. But this is a quick way where you don't have to always divide your fractions. So now you have choices, ones to divide and ones you don't. And some of these are really easy. You can just do them in your head, right? So the next one is 3/5. I'm going to show you 3/5 two ways. So actually, I can make 3/5 into something over 10, which is much quicker, right? By multiplying by 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So 3 times 2 is 6. So 3/5 will give me 6/10. How do you write that as a decimal? 6 in the 10th place. Well, let's say you weren't thinking 10. Your mind went straight to 100. Well, that's fine too, because percent is out of 100. What can I multiply times 5 to get 100? I can multiply 5 times 20. So if I multiply 5 times 20, I would get 100. Whatever I multiply the bottom by, I have to multiply the top by the same. And I know that 3 times 20 will give me 60. So I would get 60 hundredths, which I can easily convert to a decimal. I would have 60 hundredths with a 0 in the hundreds place. Remember, 6/10 and 60 hundredths are equivalent. As you can see, these are all equivalent fractions and they're equivalent decimals. So anytime you get 5 or 2 as your denominator, you can just multiply and make them 10 instead of going all the way to 100. What about 1/4? 4 is a factor of 100. What times 4 will give me 100? 25. So I'm going to say new denominator of 100. I would multiply 4 times 25. Whatever I multiply the bottom by, I do the same to the top. So 1 times 25 will give me 25. So that gives me 25 hundredths, okay? How easy is that? Didn't have to put anything in the house, didn't have to put anything outside of the house, didn't have to think about anything with T-Bow, right? Please look at this list of factors of 100. Actually, write it down. This is a great thing to put in your notebook so you have it, so you don't have to do T-Bow all the time. You'll still have to do T-Bow, but not all the time, right? Let's look at a few more, and then I'll let you try a few. 18/50ths. 18/50ths. 50 times 2 is 100. What am I multiplying times 50? 2. Whatever I do to the top, I do the same to the bottom. I said that backwards. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do the same to the top. So I'm going to multiply 18 times 2. 18 times 2 will give me 36. This will make it 36 hundredths. Look how quickly I got that decimal. And then if I needed to make it into a percent, I would move it 2 places to the right, and I would get 36%. Saving minutes, y'all. Saving minutes of our lives with this quick, easy tip, right? Why didn't I teach this first? Because I wanted you to do the long division. I know. So evil of us, right? Teachers, why do we do it? All right, 1/5. So 1/5, we have options, right? We can go to the 10 or we can go to the 100. Let's do both. If I was going to 10, what would I multiply? Right, times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So 1 times 2 is 2. So I would have 2/10, okay? 2/10. What if I wanted to go the other way and I wanted to go to 100? Just because I like a little challenge. 5 times 20 is 100. Whatever I multiply the bottom by, I do the same to the top. 1 times 20 is 20. Okay? So I would have 20 hundredths. Remember that place value. That last digit needs to be in the hundreds place. So this will make it 20 hundredths or 2/10. 1/5 is 2/10 or 20 hundredths. They're equivalent. Okay? Decimals, equivalent fractions. Last one on my watch. 12/25. 12/25. Again, anytime you think about 25, think about 4 quarters in a dollar. Okay? 25 times 4 will give me 100. Multiply times 4. Multiply the top times 4. 12 times 4 is going to give me 48. So then I have 48 hundredths. Guys, how easy is this, right? So easy. Remember, anytime you have 2, 50, 4, 25, 5, or 20, you can easily make this into a fraction out of 100. And then from there, you can make your decimal because we know decimal place value. So easy. I hope that you guys are getting this. And now it's your turn. So leave our factors up. Here are your 4 practice problems. Zoom in a little bit. 4/5, 18/25, and 16/20. Write these down, take a second, pause, use your new tips and tricks, and find the decimal form of these fractions without doing TIBO. No division required. All right, guys, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's check our answers. So 4/5, you had the option to go in 10 or 100. I went with 10. It's quicker, it's smaller. I know my twos, right? So you would get 8/10, or you could have went with 100 and got 80 hundredths. 18/25, you're going to make that into 100 by multiplying by 4. 18 times 4 gave me 72. And I got 72 hundredths. And then we had 16/20 multiplied by 5, and I got 80 hundredths. And then I looked at 16/20 and 4/5, and I was like, they're equivalent fractions. If I took 16/20 and divided the numerator and denominator by 4, I would end up with 4/5. So that was just luck of the draw, okay? I hope that this helps. I hope that you find this useful today. I know it will come in handy playing all these games in your future. So good luck and thanks.